welcome to EBS FM Morning Special, Your Morning Energy. It's Thursday, the 1st of January, 2026. I'm your host, Chesujin. Well, the new year has dawned and the first sunrise of 2026 already embracing the entire nation in light after lighting up the sky over Tokdo happened about 35 minutes ago, heralding the arrival of the year of the fire horse. 약 35분 전쯤이었죠. 독도 상공에 떠오른 해와 함께 2026년 새해가 밝았습니다. 올해는 병오년, 마치 타오르는 불꽃처럼 일명 붉은 말의 해라고 하는데요. A symbol of strength, freedom and challenge, the horse has long shared a deep bond with humanity, offering both assistance and protection throughout history. To mark the horse's turn in the zodiac cycle, the National Folk Museum of Korea has organized a special exhibition celebrating this remarkable animal. In conjunction with the exhibition, the museum has also published the horse volume of its Encyclopedia of Korean Folk Symbols series. 힘과 자유와 도전의 상징인 말은요, 오랫동안 인류와 교감을 나눈 동물로서 12지 중에서도 우리 인간에서 특히 실용과 수호를 상징하는 존재라고 할 수 있는데요. 이런 말의 해를 맞아 국립민속박물관은 말띠해 특별전시회를 마련했다고 합니다. 또 한국 민속 상징사전 가운데 말편도 이번에 특별히 따로 발간했다고 하네요. Well, joining us in the studio on the very first day of 2026 is Jason Lee. Good morning, 선생님.
Good morning, Sue.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, 2026. Where has the previous year gone? It just flies by.
Yeah, it's going to take a while for 2026 to stick because I'm still not used to saying it. 2026.
You know what I hate doing every January, maybe even February, and I swear sometimes even into March? You know when you go to the bank and you have to write down dates, or any kind of government office, when you're writing down the dates, it always takes me like a few months for me to get used to writing the next year's year, or the current year's year, I guess I should say. But yeah, every time it's, oh yeah, that's right, it's 26 now.
2026년. 네. 저도 아직 익숙치가 않은데 벌써 새해가 밝았습니다. So earlier, of course, about half an hour ago or so, the first sunrise for Korea was hopefully observed over in Tokdo, and now I'm sure a lot of people are starting to either write down their resolutions or think of things they want to do this year, which is customary. Now, this year is the year of the fire horse, or the red horse, and you know, the year of the horse. If you think of horses, they're very strong and powerful and beautiful. I love horses. Do you? Do you like horses?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been horseback riding a few times in my life. Yeah, horses are great. I didn't realize that they had a fire horse as a symbol as well, because I remember like the golden pig as an example in that particular year, and I knew that there were, you know, extra something for particular years beyond just the animal. But yeah, it's the first time I've ever heard of a fire horse, but that sounds very interesting.
Well, that's because they only come around every 60 years.
60 years.
So the last time would have been 60 years ago. So that maybe explains why we haven't heard of it before. But every year, of course, there's an animal that symbolizes it. There are 12 of these animals, and then there are also other characters that come with the animals, and they, you know, they come around every 60
5
years.
cycles, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So we have this year, the 병오년, and if you were born in the year of the horse, good for you. And if you're born this year, baby, I don't know if you're listening, then you're born in the year of the fire horse. 그래요. 올해 태어난 아기들은 병오년, 정말 붉은 말의 해, 좀 불타는 파워풀한 그런 해에 태어났다고 볼 수 있을 것 같습니다. 자, 이미 저희의 설명 속에 굉장히 많은 퀴즈 힌트가 들어갔는데 퀴즈 지금 드리도록 하겠습니다. 올해 병오년은요, 어떤 색 말의 해일까요?
Is it 1, red? Is it 2, blue? Or is it 3, rainbow?
자, 네, 웃긴 보기가 하나 들어갔네요. Number 1, red. Number 2, blue. Or number 3, rainbow. 중에서 뭔지 지금 바로 보내주세요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045 그리고 EBS 반디 앱 무료로 이용하실 수 있습니다. 방송 후에 두 분께 선물 드릴게요. 그럼 오늘의 모닝 헤드라인스 시작합니다.
The BBC has listed 7 travel trends expected to define the industry in 2026, included quiet escapes, algorithm-shaped itineraries, and a return to slower, more intentional travel, citing data from the world's leading hotel groups, travel firms, and trend forecasters.
BBC는 세계 주요 호텔 체인과 여행사, 트렌드 분석 기관들이 내놓은 자료를 인용해 2026년의 업계 흐름을 주도할 여행 트렌드를 소개했습니다. 이에 따르면 조용한 휴식형 여행, 인공지능 기반 여행 추천, 느린 속도와 특별한 목적을 추구하는 여행의 재부상 등이 올해의 경향으로 점쳐지고 있습니다.
Global memory chip shortages, driven by surging demand for AI-related components, are expected to push up prices for consumer electronics, including smartphones and PCs, in the new year.
AI 관련 부품에 대한 수요가 급증함에 따라 전 세계적으로 메모리 칩 수급이 어려워지면서 그 영향으로 올해 스마트폰과 PC 등 가전제품의 가격 인상이 예상됩니다.
Scientists have uncovered what appears to be the earliest known evidence of deliberate fire-making by humans, pushing the archaeological timeline back by roughly 350,000 years.
인류가 불을 본격적으로 사용한 시점이 기존에 알려진 것보다 35만 년 더 앞선 것으로 추정되는 고고학적 증거가 발견됐습니다.
Egypt has begun a public live restoration of a 4,600-year-old royal solar boat belonging to King Khufu, the pharaoh who commissioned the Great Pyramid of Giza at the Grand Egyptian Museum.
기자의 대피라미드를 건설한 고대 이집트 파라오 후프 왕의 4,600년 전 태양의 배를 실시간으로 공개 복원하는 작업이 이집트의 그랜드 이집트 박물관에서 시작됐습니다.
The Palace of Versailles, one of France's most iconic landmarks and a must-see for cultural enthusiasts worldwide, is set to increase ticket prices for visitors from outside the European Economic Area starting January 14th.
프랑스의 가장 유명한 랜드마크 중 하나이자 전 세계 문화 애호가들의 필수 방문지로 꼽히는 베르사유 궁전이 1월 14일부터 유럽 경제지역 EEA 외 방문객들을 대상으로 입장료를 인상합니다. Those are our headlines this morning. Let's take a closer look at those one by one.
The BBC has listed 7 travel trends expected to define the industry in 2026, including quiet escapes, algorithm-shaped itineraries, and a return to slower, more intentional travel, citing data from the world's leading hotel groups, travel firms, and trend forecasters.
BBC는 세계 주요 호텔 체인과 여행사, 트렌드 분석 기관들이 내놓은 자료를 인용해 2026년의 업계 흐름을 주도할 여행 트렌드를 소개했습니다. 이에 따르면 조용한 휴식형 여행, 인공지능 기반 여행 추천, 느린 속도와 특별한 목적을 추구하는 여행의 재부상 등이 올해의 경향으로 점쳐지고 있습니다. Alright, so travel trends, 7 have been outlined by the BBC.
Yeah, and to give the exact seven, okay, so they're saying a quiet, restorative escapes, AI-shaped itineraries, curated low-decision travel, road trips over flights, ultra-personalized getaways, off-grid and less crowded destinations, and culture-driven travel.
Overall, I feel like there's a trend for more personalized, quiet, stress-free travel.
Yeah, I think sort of like getting away from the big city. I think seems to be a lot of things. One of the things that I found interesting was the second one I mentioned, AI-shaped itineraries, meaning that AI will take a role in your travel. Anything from planning, like you might ask, well, what's a good itinerary for me to do? You can ask AI to do that. Also for booking flights, as well as using AI for things like translations and interpretations while traveling.
맞아요. 요즘에는 AI한테 이렇게 여행 일정 잡아줘, 추천해줘, 이렇게 물어보면은 챗봇들이 알려주니까 그런 여행을 올해는 더 많이 할 것으로 예상한다고 합니다. 저는 여기서 curated low decision travel 이것도 좀 인상적이었는데요. 최대한 내가 뭘 생각하지 않아도 되게끔 미리 다 어느 정도 짜여진 그런 트래블을 얘기하는 것 같아요. 그 다음에는 또 road trips over flights 이것도 인상적인데 is it because it's expensive maybe to travel by air? And road trips are quite common in America, I guess in Canada too.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it probably depends on the country because, bigger countries have more roads and more places to explore.
Yes.
Whereas smaller countries, obviously, it's just easier to get around to see everything already. And then you just have, further places to go to explore. So
exactly.
I think it depends on how much of your own country you've already seen.
Yeah, in Korea, I think it's less common for people to go on road trips.
Yeah.
Simply because flights are not that expensive if you're doing domestic traveling, and everything is quite close compared to, say, Canada or America.
I think the other thing can also be because traffic. Sometimes, depending on where you're going, and if it's only for the weekend, then traffic going there and traffic coming back, can take up a lot of time, almost to the point where it's like, let's just get on a plane and go somewhere further.
몇 날 며칠 동안 자동차로 여행하는 거를 로드트립이라고 하죠. 미국이나 캐나다 같이 땅이 워낙 넓은 곳에서는 흔히들 택하는 여행 방식인데 올해는 이런 로드트립을 사람들이 더 많이 갈 것으로 예상한답니다. 그리고 뭐 personalized getaways 아까 그 AI-shaped itinerary도 마찬가지지만 개인에게 맞춰진 여행이 좀 눈에 띄네요. 그냥 패키지보다는 개인에게 내 취향 이런 것들을 좀 고려해서 여행을 할 것 같습니다. What is an itinerary though?
An itinerary is basically like a schedule. It's something that you plan out and have as a schedule before you, saying this is what I want to do at this time, or this is my schedule for this day or this trip.
그렇죠. 여행 일정이에요. Itinerary. Could you spell it out for us?
Yeah, it is ITINERARIES, or it could be Y instead of the IES.
Now, what's an intentional trip?
An intentional travel or intentional trip is, something that you do on purpose, right? Intentional is, well, I meant to do that.
Right.
And I think if you're taking an intentional trip, it's something that you are planning to do, as opposed to, let's say, like a business trip, right? Where you have to go because someone is making you do it. If you're doing something intentionally, it's because you want to do it. So when they say intentional travel, to me, it means like an actual vacation that you want to do.
그래요. 의도적이다, 고의적이다라는 걸 intentional이라고 하는데요. 여기 헤드라인에서는 intentional travel이라고 했기 때문에 의도하는 바가 뭔가 있다는 거죠. So whether that's for well-being or just to get away from the hustle and bustle of city life, or your health, or whatever it is, there's some intention in it. It's not just traveling because everyone else is traveling.
Yeah, and you'll often hear things when it comes to, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't do that intentionally. I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. So it wasn't intentional.
Sure.
Or if someone did something wrong to you, you might say, hey, did you do that intentionally? Did you mean to do that? Did you do that on purpose?
Then you say, no, that was unintentional, which means it wasn't intentional.
Or you could apologize saying, oh, I'm sorry, but I did that with good intentions, or I meant that with my best intentions.
My best intentions.
Yes.
정말 좋은 뜻으로 했는데.
Yeah, I didn't mean any harm, even though the result might have been bad. That's not what I wanted to happen. I meant to do something nice.
그럴 때가 있죠. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. The BBC has listed 7 travel trends expected to define the industry in 2026, including quiet escapes, algorithm-shaped itineraries, and a return to slower, more intentional travel, citing data from the world's leading hotel groups, travel firms, and trend forecasters. Now let's move on to the second headline.
Global memory chip shortages, driven by surging demand for AI-related components, are expected to push up prices for consumer electronics, including smartphones and PCs, in the new year.
AI 관련 부품에 대한 수요가 급증함에 따라 전 세계적으로 메모리 칩 수급이 어려워지면서 그 영향으로 올해 스마트폰과 PC 등 가전제품의 가격 인상이 예상됩니다. Okay, so tell us about this.
Yeah, so there's a shortage of global memory chips. A lot of the, minerals or metals that go into a lot of these chips are precious metals, and I think there's a shortage in those, which is causing a shortage in the chips as well. And then those are what goes into a lot of the technology things like AI, like DRAM, like NAND flash, and all these other components of computers and technology components. So everything is going up in price together.
Yeah.
And I think we can expect smartphones and tablets and PCs and anything that uses those items to go up in price.
Right. You mentioned the word shortage there. Let's look at that first.
A shortage is when you don't have enough of something. So if you have a shortage of a material, then you don't have enough of this material to make something.
The opposite might be abundance or an excess of something.
Exactly. Sometimes, like, you'll hear of a power shortage. So there's not enough power to turn something on, or maybe like there's been an electricity problem because there's not enough electricity to go out for what people want. So there's an imbalance in supply and demand.
Exactly. shortage는 부족이니까요. supply shortage는 공급 부족이 되겠죠. In other words, you could also say this is a supply crunch. So similar sort of way of saying there's not enough being provided, whereas the demand is very high.
Yeah, and sometimes you can just use it as short as well. So you might say, as an example, oh, sorry, Sue, I'm short on money today. Like, can you help me out? Like, I don't have enough. I don't have enough money. I'm short, or I'm shortchanged. Hey, did you shortchange me? You didn't give me enough money back from the money I gave. I gave you 25. You're supposed to give me 5 back. You only gave me 4. You shortchanged me.
Does that happen a lot?
I hope not, but sometimes people, like in I guess nowadays everything is credit card driven, but back in the old days when you got coins and bills back, if your math isn't as good as a cashier, then sometimes you give people not enough money back if your math isn't good.
As an innocent mistake, of course. Not intentionally.
Yes,
Right.
yeah. It'll be as a mistake. It does happen. Or I remember it happening a lot more back in North America, certainly.
잔돈을 받았는데 잔돈이 좀 부족한 거예요. 그럴 때 쓸 수 있는 유용한 표현이 shortchange me입니다. I think you shortchanged me.
Yeah.
이렇게 하면 잔돈 정돈을 좀 부족하게 주신 것 같은데요? 이런 뜻이 되겠어요. 자, short가 들어간 표현 보고 있는데 shortage는 아까 부족이라고 말씀드렸죠. 이거를 또 우리가 일상 회화 속에서는 나 이런 게 좀 부족해. Be short on something. I'm short on I don't know, money or change or something. I'm short on something. 나 요즘에 이런 게 좀 부족해 라는 뜻이 되겠습니다. 자, 다음으로 to push up prices.
To push up prices means that prices are going up, and the price of something is what it costs. So if you want to buy something, well, this is the cost, or this is how much you have to pay to buy this or to receive it.
Sure.
So if prices are being pushed up, then it means that it's becoming more and more expensive.
가격을 상승시키다, to push up prices. The opposite would be to lower prices.
Or push down prices.
Ah, you're right. To push down is another way. I guess that would be the sort of direct opposite of pushing up. Okay, now I'm going to read the headline one more time. Global memory chip shortages, driven by surging demand for AI-related components, are expected to push up prices for consumer electronics, including smartphones and PCs, in the new year. Let's take a break. 퀴즈 다시 한번 내드리겠습니다. 올해는 병오년이에요. The year of the fire horse. What color horse are we talking about this year?
Is it 1, red? Is it 2, blue? Or is it 3, rainbow?
그래요. 병오년에서 병이 상징하는 색깔이 있습니다. 그게 뭔지 골라주시면 되겠어요. Red, blue, rainbow 중에서 네. 노래 듣고 올게요. Let's listen to Lenka, Everything's Okay. Everything's okay. What more can we wish for this year? For everything to be okay. That was Lenka with our first song. Time to move on to our next headline.
Scientists have uncovered what appears to be the earliest known evidence of deliberate fire-making by humans, pushing the archaeological timeline back by roughly 350,000 years.
인류가 불을 본격적으로 사용한 시점이 기존에 알려진 것보다 35만 년 더 앞선 것으로 추정되는 고고학적 증거가 발견됐습니다. Oh, we were wrong by quite a bit, if this is true.
Yeah. So they're saying that humans were making fire about 400,000 years ago. So yeah, that's 350,000 years earlier than previously confirmed. So yeah, I guess we thought previously maybe 50,000 years. No, 400,000 years ago.
Wow. In the Jungle Book, the animals fear, they call it the red flower or something, and that's fire.
Yeah.
You know, they all say, oh, stay away from the red fire that the humans made.
Yeah, that's why humans are dangerous.
Right, let's have a look at this expression here. It appears to be that we used fire way earlier than previously thought.
Yeah, when we say what appears to be, then we're saying this is what we think, or this is what it looks like. But we'll often use this in ways when we're not 100% sure about the facts.
Yes.
So you'll hear this maybe in the news quite a bit. We use words like allegedly, or what looks like, or reported as. But it's just things where, okay, I'm not 100% sure that this is true. So this is what I believe, or what seems to be the case, but I'm not 100% sure.
100% 확신은 할 수 없지만 이렇게 보여진다라는 뜻이 되겠고요. 특히 우리가 이런 오래된 유물들 얘기를 할 때는 정확하게 이게 제일 오래된 것입니다. 이렇게 말하기가 어렵잖아요. 그러니까 더욱더 이런 표현을 많이 활용하는 겁니다. It appears to be the earliest known evidence of deliberate fire-making, but who knows? Maybe we'll find something that's older in the future. We don't know for sure, but for now, this latest discovery seems to be, it appears to be, the earliest known evidence. And let's look at this very tricky word, archaeological timeline.
Archaeological timeline. So the word archaeological, or archaeologist, or archaeology, It's the study of old things,
Yep.
like maybe fossils or old relics or things from a long time ago. And the timeline of that, so we're looking at the actual history or dates and times about things like that. So the article talked about that it moves it back roughly 350,000 years. So that's the timeline. We thought it was 50,000 years ago, but now we realize, well, actually it's 400,000 years ago. So the time period that we're talking about, that's what's being referred to. So the archaeological timeline, when this was happening.
그렇죠. 자, 고고학은 archaeology. 고고학자는 archaeologist. 고고학적은 archaeological 되겠습니다. 이 스트레스가 살짝 달라지죠. 형용사일 때는 logical 발음을 한다 생각하고 앞부분은 좀 빠르게 발음하시면 돼요. archaeological 그러면은 발음이 됩니다. 계속 하다 보면 자연스럽게 발음이 될 텐데요. 이게 바로 고고학적, 그 다음에 timeline, 이거는 연대기가 되겠죠. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Scientists have uncovered what appears to be the earliest known evidence of deliberate fire-making by humans, pushing the archaeological timeline back by roughly 350,000 years. Let's move on to the next headline.
Egypt has begun a public live restoration of a 4,600-year-old royal solar boat belonging to King Khufu, the pharaoh who commissioned the Great Pyramid of Giza at the Grand Egyptian Museum.
기자의 대피라미드를 건설한 고대 이집트 파라오 쿠프 왕의 4,600년 전 태양의 배를 실시간으로 공개 복원하는 작업이 이집트 그랜드 이집트 박물관에서 시작됐습니다. Alright. Well, for all the archaeologists out there, this is very exciting news. Tell us more.
Yeah, so it's a cedarwood vessel made of about 1,650 wooden pieces. If you ever put together a jigsaw puzzle, imagine a 3D jigsaw puzzle with 1,650 wooden pieces. So that, yeah, they're trying to put this piece it back together and restore this. It's I'm sure going to be quite the challenge, but yeah, should be fun.
They say that this was used for the pharaoh's afterlife rituals, and we know from history that pharaohs, kings, queens, they had these very elaborate rituals after they died, and that's why we have the pyramids in the first place, right?
Yeah.
It stores all of their remnants and also just very valuable items, and I guess a lot of time and effort went into just creating things for these funerary rituals.
Yeah, a lot of time and effort, not just by them, but by a lot of other people.
they couldn't because they're no longer alive. But this boat again was made for for that purpose, I believe. So it's going to be exciting to be able to see this being restored live, and you can check it out at the Grand Egyptian Museum. Let's have a look at live restoration.
Yeah, restoration is to kind of fix or to restore something. So something that used to be okay and something went wrong with it, and you're trying to make it back to the way it was. And we hear this a lot for a lot of ancient sites. Perhaps it could be buildings that have been damaged. I remember Namdaemun Gate or Sungnaemun when it was burned. Then that was restored or went through a restoration process. So it's when you're rebuilding or fixing something that has been damaged.
그렇죠. 복원 작업을 restoration이라고 얘기합니다. To restore, 복원하다.
Now, it also did say it's a live restoration. And anytime that we talk about something being live, it means it's being in real time. Right? It's happening at the moment. So it's not something that is later on, or it's not something that happened before, but right now, at the moment, it's happening.
그렇죠. 실시간으로 복원 작업을 확인할 수 있다고 해요. And this was a boat that was initially commissioned by King Khufu.
Yeah, it means that it was him that made the decision, and because it was King Khufu that made this decision, we say that it was commissioned. If it was just me, if it was Jason, Jason doesn't have the right to commission something, because when something is commissioned, it's usually done by a king or a president or a high up leader of an important group. If Jason were to do it, it would just be Jason said.
Or ordered.
Or ordered, yeah.
Okay.
Jason said do this.
굉장히 격식 갖추고 좀 공식적인 느낌이 있군요. 의뢰하다, 발주하다라는 뜻인데요. 그냥 casual conversation에서는 잘 쓰지 않겠지만 이런 지금 왕 같은 경우 아니면 큰 기업에서 뭔가 발주를 하거나 의뢰를 할 때 쓸 수 있습니다. 물론 일반인도 굉장히 공식적인 상황이면은 쓸 수 있겠죠.
Typically, the highest person in a police department is called a commissioner. If you are a fan of Batman, then Batman usually works together with a police officer named Commissioner Gordon. So Commissioner Gordon is the police chief, or the highest person in the police department. So it's like that person is the one that's making the orders to the police below him. So he's the person, the king of the police, you could say, or the president of the police, saying, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this. He's making orders, he's commissioning things.
좋습니다. All right, well, here's the headline one more time. Egypt has begun a public live restoration of a 4,600-year-old royal solar boat belonging to King Khufu, the pharaoh who commissioned the Great Pyramid of Giza at the Grand Egyptian Museum. All right, let's move on to our final headline.
The Palace of Versailles, one of France's most iconic landmarks and a must-see for cultural enthusiasts worldwide, is set to increase ticket prices for visitors from outside the European Economic Area starting January 14.
프랑스의 가장 유명한 랜드마크 중 하나이자 전 세계 문화 애호가들의 필수 방문지로 꼽히는 베르사유 궁전이 1월 14일부터 유럽 경제지역 EEA 외 방문객들을 대상으로 입장료를 인상합니다. So that would be you and me.
Yeah.
And I guess most of our listeners, unless you're tuning in from within the EEA, but most people will have to pay more.
Have you been there?
I have. The Versailles, the Palace of Versailles. I have. Have you?
I've been to Paris and France, but unfortunately, that was not one of the places that we visited.
Okay, yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, I was very young, but I still remember the gardens because it's so vast and it's just gorgeous. I mean, the Sun King wanted the best, so it's no wonder. And let's have a look at what's going on and some expressions as well.
Yeah, so during peak season, non-EU visitors are going to have to pay €35 for admission. That's about €5 more than the current rates. But as you mentioned, this is for people like you and me. If you are in the EEA, then you're going to be paying a little bit less than that.
네. 그러니까 아마 EU와 EEA 계신 분들은 한 €30 정도를 내는 것 같아요. 그래서 그 외에 관광객들은 €35를 낸다고 하고요. 이게 보통보다 €5 높다고 하니까 이렇게 추정이 됩니다.
And this isn't the only place that is just suddenly doing this. Like there are other places, like the Louvre Museum, as an example, that also charges a little bit more to visitors who are not part of the EEA. So it's not like this is the first tourist attraction in Paris that has decided to do that. They're, if anything, following other places.
Exactly. 그러니까 지금 많은 곳들이 이렇게 그 지역 로컬 주민이 아니면은 돈을 좀 더 받겠다 하는 방식으로 오버 투리즘을 방지하고자 하는 거죠. Let me quickly double check the prices because I believe you did say that currently it's about €30. I guess that would be for the non. Is it for the non?
For the non, yeah. So for the non non-EEA, it would be 35. And for the locals, it would be 30.
알겠습니다. 자, 입장료가 자, EEA 외 지역에서 온 분들 같은 경우는 이제 올해 어쨌든 35유로로 책정이 된다고 합니다. 베르사유 궁전 가실 분들은 이렇게 참고하시면 될 것 같아요. Alright, let's have a look at the expression a must see.
I love this expression.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those that, you know, when you hear it, it gets your attention, and I think it's accurate. It's plain and simple. Look, this is something that you have to see. If you go to Paris, or, you know, if you're in the vicinity of this, then you have to see this. It's like something that everyone does, and something that I really encourage you to do. Go there and see this.
Exactly. A must see는 꼭 봐야 할 것이란 뜻입니다.
Yeah, and usually we're talking about tourist attractions or something that is very popular in a certain place, a landmark of some sort. And note that it is a must-see, not it's must-see, it's a must-see.
Becomes a noun.
Yes.
명사가 되는 거기 때문에요. 관사 어를 앞에 붙여요. A must see 그러면 꼭 봐야 하는 것. A must eat 그럼 꼭 먹어야 하는 것. A must do 라고 하면 꼭 해야 하는 것. 이런 것들이 있겠죠. 우리 여행할 때마다 그런 거 있잖아요. 아, 거기 가면 꼭 이건 해야 돼. 꼭 이건 먹어야 돼. A must eat in Seoul is blah 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 이런 식으로 하면 되겠습니다. What's an enthusiast?
An enthusiast is someone that really likes something or is really into something. Like if you're enthusiastic about something, then you like that a lot, but not just like, oh, I like it. Like think of someone that is gonna like act on their love for something. Like I think of someone it's not just about the talk, like where I say I like something, but I'll maybe pay money in order to support something, or yeah, it's just like you're kind of more into something than the normal person.
I think all of our listeners know that you're a sports enthusiast.
Yes, exactly.
Is there one sport in particular that you're more enthusiastic about than others?
I would just say that there's a bunch.
Okay.
Yeah. I would feel bad if I were to say that, oh, this is just my favorite sport. I love all sports.
I guess it's like saying, who's your favorite child?
Yeah, it really is, honestly.
그래요. 선생님은 스포츠 워낙 좋아하시잖아요. 그래서 그냥 조금 좋아하는 정도가 아니라 그래서 he's a sports enthusiast. 헤드라인에서는 cultural enthusiasts들이 꼭 가고 싶어하는 Versailles라고 했어요. 그러니까 문화 애호가들이 꼭 가보고 싶어하는 베르사유 궁입니다. 영어로는 The Palace of Versailles라고 해요. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. The Palace of Versailles, one of France's most iconic landmarks and a must-see for cultural enthusiasts worldwide, is set to increase ticket prices for visitors from outside the European Economic Area starting January 14th. Alright, well those were our headlines with Jason Lee. 퀴즈 다시 한번 내드리겠습니다. This year is the year of the fire horse. 병오년이거든요, 2026년이. 자, 그렇다면 이게 어떤 색깔의 말을 뜻하는지 골라주시면 되겠습니다.
Is it 1, red? Is it 2, blue? Or is it 3, rainbow?
지금 바로 단문 50원, 장문 100원에 샵1045 또는 무료인 반디 앱 이용해서 도전해주세요. 노래 듣겠습니다. Eric Clapton, Change the World. Let's review our main expressions from the headlines. We're going to start off with 의도적인, intentional.
Intentional is when you do something on purpose or deliberately. You meant to do it. It's not by accident. It's something that you wanted to happen.
So what's your example?
His tardiness to the company dinner was completely intentional.
늦었나 봐요. tardiness 그러면은 좀 게으르다라는 느낌이거든요. 늦다. 그래서 회식 자리에 늦게 도착한 것은 다분히 의도적이었습니다. 왜 그럴까요?
Maybe he wanted to miss the speeches, or maybe he didn't want to be drinking as much, or...
알겠습니다. tardy, to be late.
Maybe he did something wrong at the company and was ashamed.
Being late is also
that's true too.
another thing. It's going to have to add to doing something wrong for the company. Anyway, moving on to our next word, 부족, shortage.
Yeah, shortage is when there's a lack of something or not enough. So you need more of this.
Okay, let's have a look at your sentence.
They were experiencing supply shortages for each of the ingredients for their famous cake.
굉장히 유명한 케이크를 만들려고 하는데 각각의 재료가 다 조금씩 그 공급이 부족한 상태였습니다. 그래서 여기서 supply shortages라고 했습니다. 공급 부족. Next expression, 뭐뭐로 보이는 것, what appears to be something.
Yeah, what appears to be is when you say you don't know for sure, so you can't say, oh, it is something. It appears to be something because maybe you're too far away and you can't see it exactly, or maybe you don't have all of the facts. So in order to be a little bit less accurate, or to give yourself the opportunity to be less accurate, you'll say something like, well, what appears to be, or what looks like.
Yeah, exactly. 자, 그럼 예문 볼까요?
He is holding up what appears to be a new type of folding phone.
확실치는 않지만 그가 지금 들고 있는 게 새로운 폴딩 타입의 스마트폰인 것 같아. 라는 얘기겠죠. 가장 최근에 나온 이렇게 두 번 접히는
트라이폴.
그거 보고 저도 What's that? 이랬거든요. 너무 신기해가지고 아마 저 같은 게 기계에 대해서 잘 모르는 사람이 이런 문장 쓸 수 있을 것 같아요. What's he holding? Oh, it appears to be a new type of smartphone. 이럴 수 있을 것 같아요. 자, 다음으로 commission.
Commission is an order that is made by a president or a king or someone with a lot of power.
의뢰하다, 발주하다. 예문 보겠습니다.
The limited edition pennies were not commissioned by the minister.
새로 나온 한정판 동전은 그 장관이 발주한 것이 아닙니다. Alright. 마지막 표현으로 애호가 아니면 열성 fan, enthusiast.
Yeah, an enthusiast is someone that really likes something or is very enthusiastic about something, a big fan of, or someone that loves this.
All right, let's have a look at your sentence.
Many 손흥민 enthusiasts were waiting at the airport hoping to get a glimpse of their idol.
많은 손흥민 선수 팬들이 공항에서 잠깐이라도 선수를 볼 수 있기를 기대하면서 기다리고 있었습니다. Yes, indeed. 자, 이렇게 헤드라인에서 나온 표현들 리뷰해봤고요. 모닝 헤드라인 익스프레션즈는 오디오 어학당에서 다시 듣기 하실 수 있습니다. 여러분의 영어 루틴이 되는 시간 EBS FM 모닝 스페셜. 자, 그럼 오늘 1부에서 내드렸던 퀴즈 정답을 발표할 시간인데요. 올해는 병호년, Fire Horse의 해라고 합니다. 그게 무슨 색깔 호스죠?
Oh, the answer is one. It is red.
It's the year of the red horse, the fire horse. 이게 뭐뭐의 해 할 때는 the year of the something 이렇게 표현을 하고요. 우리가 띠 얘기할 때도 I was born in the year of the 하고 동물 얘기를 하면 돼요.
That's right.
네. 자, 정답은 바로 1번 red였습니다. 당첨되신 두 분은 저희가 방송 후에 모닝 스페셜 홈페이지 당첨자 게시판에 올려드리겠습니다. 거기서 성함 확인해 주시면 되겠고요. 당첨자분들은 저희 홈페이지 당첨자 주소 확인방에 선물 받으실 정보 잊지 말고 올려주세요. You know, every year has an animal, and you know, every animal is seen as auspicious. You know, you're never going to say this year is a bad year. You know, every year we like to say that it is lucky. But do you know the 12 animals?
You know what? I didn't even realize that there was a horse. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I don't
Yes.
think I could do it off the top of my head.
Okay, but do you want to try? Do you know what the first one is?
Okay, well, I know there's a dragon. I know
Yes.
there's an ox. I know there's a dog, a chicken, a snake.
Very good.
Um,
Mouse.
Oh, mouse, pig.
Yep.
Uh,
Let's see, what have you missed?
Something I'm
Sheep.
missing. Oh gosh, sheep. Yeah, that's right.
How many have you done?
I've got, so that's 8.
Okay. Yep. All right. Well, let me go through each of the animals for you. We start off with the rat because the story goes that all these animals were in a race.
Oh.
And the order of the animals is the order of which animal came first. Now, the ox was way ahead of the other animals, very fast, according to this legend. But the mouse is a clever animal. So, the rat decided to go on top of the ox and free ride throughout the whole race. No, I said mouse earlier on. I should have said rat. But the rat, at the end of the race, jumped off the head of the ox and ended in first place. So we start off with the rat. There's rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, pig.
I forgot monkey, goat, rabbit, and I think horse. Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed, but I grouped them in 4 animals because there's 12 altogether. And the way we memorize it in Korea is 자축인묘, 진사오미, 신유술해. And each of these characters symbolize the animals.
Interesting.
And then we also have the other characters. There's 10 other characters. 갑을 병정, 무기 경신, 임케. And each of these characters, they go round and stick with the animal characters. And 60 years is how long it takes for the same one to come back.
To come up again.
That's why it's been 60 years since we've had a red horse.
Wow.
There you go. Let's take a break. 자, 노래 듣겠습니다. We'll be right back after Arling and Cameron. New Day. Happy New Year indeed. 자, 지금부터 뉴욕타임스 기사로 만나는 뉴스 커버리지 시작합니다. 제이슨 선생님, what's the title?
A longevity expert's 5 tips for aging well.
장수 전문가가 알려주는 잘 나이 드는 법 5가지. 자, 새해를 맞아서 여러분 건강에 도움이 됐으면 하는 마음으로 저희가 준비한 기사입니다. 뉴욕타임스 기사에서는 심장병 전문의로 1300편의 연구 논문을 발표한 바 있는 한 노화 전문가의 신간 서적을 다루면서 거기서 발췌한 건강하게 나이 드는 법을 총 5가지로 정리하고 있는데요. 이 책의 제목은 참고로 Super Agers, an Evidence-Based Approach to Longevity입니다. 저자는 에릭 토폴 박사인데요. 20년 전 자신의 welderly라는 이 컨셉을 가지고 책에서 더 설명을 합니다. 우리 이제 well-being 할 때처럼 그 well 그리고 elderly 노인을 합친 단어가 되겠죠. 만성질환이 두어 가지 있어도 그 외에는 큰 문제 없이 80세 이상 장수한 건강한 노인들 welderly라고 에릭 토폴 박사가 부릅니다. 자, 이 저자가 말하는 건강하게 잘 나이 드는 법 지금부터 들어볼게요. 제이슨 선생님.
Take up strength training. But even Topol was surprised to learn that strength training in particular can significantly lower your risks. One meta-analysis mentioned in the book found that an hour of resistance training a week lowered subjects' mortality risk by 25%. Strength training has also been linked to better sleep, higher bone density, and improved mental health compared with no exercise. While there's no magic threshold for how strong you should be to delay decline, the stronger you are, the better, Topol said.
첫 번째 팁입니다. 근력 운동을 시작할 것. Take up strength training. 토폴 박사조차 특히 이 근력 운동이 각종 위험을 크게 낮출 수 있다는 사실에 놀랐다고 합니다. 책에서 언급된 한 메타 분석에 따르면 주 1시간의 저항 운동을 한 실험 참가자들은요, 사망 위험이 25%나 감소한 것으로 나타났는데요. 근력 운동은 운동을 하지 않았을 때에 비해서 잠을 더 잘 자게 하고 골밀도가 더 높게 하고요. 또 정신 건강이 호전되는 현상과도 꾸준히 관련이 있다고 합니다. 노쇠를 늦추기 위해 근력이 어디까지 강해져야 하는지에 대한 마법 같은 기준은 없지만 토폴 박사는 강할수록 좋다라고 말합니다. Alright, so I mean, exercising is good for you just across the board, but in particular, strength training is really good when it comes to aging well.
Yeah, to build up muscle mass, essentially. You know, my mother was actually recently in Korea, and one of the things that she always does is she visits all the hospitals and makes sure that she gets checked up well. And one of the things that she's going through right now in her 70s is the loss of muscle mass in her legs in particular. So even though they, you know, her and my father walk regularly, still just not getting muscle mass.
This is more common in women than men, I hear.
Yeah.
After perimenopause and osteoporosis, complications that are more commonly seen in women. I think your legs and the muscle mass in your legs do weaken, or you get a lack of it.
Yeah, which can cause some problems. So certainly doing exercises with some resistance, whether it be weights or rubber bands or different things, I'm sure it can be helpful, which I think they talk about.
그래요. 자, 지금 얘기하고 있는 strength training, 근력 운동이 되겠습니다. 저항성 운동이라고도 하는데요. resistance training이라는 표현도 여기서 나옵니다. 같은 의미로 쓰고 있어요. What about the word mortality?
Mortality has basically to do with your life and keeping your life and your health as well. When you take the base word in there of mortal, right? A mortal is a human or a person. And if you ever watch like movies about Greek mythology and Hercules and Zeus and things like that, you know, they talk about mortals as like you humans, like you're only mortal, meaning you're not a god, meaning you're eventually going to die. So if you are mortal, it means that you are vulnerable, like to death eventually, or disease, or different things that you're exposed that maybe gods don't go through when it comes to Greek mythology and stuff. So in the same way, when we talk about mortality, it talks about, you know, the life force or the amount of life that you have left.
mortality가요, 이제 사실은 사망 또는 사망률이에요. mort라는 어원이 들어간 단어들이 죽음과 관련이 있어서 사람을 우리가 mortal beings라고 하는데, 사람의 특징은 뭔가요? 모든 사람들이 다 어김없이 공통적으로 가지고 있는 특징, 그것은 유한적인 삶을 산다라는 거죠. 결국은 죽는다라는 건데, 그래서 이제 mortal이라는 게 사람이라는 뜻으로 쓰기도 해요. 저는 얼마 전에 그 아담스 패밀리 기억나세요? 뱀파이어 가족 같은 그거를 다시 좀 봤었는데, 거기서 여자 캐릭터 이름이 모티샤잖아요. 모트가 들어가요. 그래서 이것도 역시나 그런 좀 고틱한 이미지에 맞게 데스와 관련된 이름을 일부러 쓴 거라는 생각이 듭니다. 자, 다시 돌아와서 mortality risk는 사망 위험이 되겠고요. What's a threshold?
Threshold is like a zone or an area in which things can change. Like it's like a crossing the line into like that zone that things can happen or things can be affected. And if you go into the actual meaning or the origin of the word, threshold is actually like a doorway. It's the ground or the wooden plank that is what you step on when you're walking through a door. So if you think of it as like you're moving from one room to another, or from outside the house into the inside of a house, like things are kind of changing as you're passing through this doorway or passageway. So in the same sort of way, a threshold, think of it as this zone or this room where it's different in here than it was out there.
Threshold, Threshold. 뜻은 문지방이에요. 그런데 우리가 한계점 아니면 무언가의 기준점이라는 뜻으로 많이 씁니다. So pain threshold means up until a certain point you can withstand pain,
Yes.
but after a certain point you can't endure it anymore. You go, oh, too painful. Some people have higher pain thresholds than others.
Exactly. Maybe you can take a financial threshold to a certain degree. You have enough money to be okay for this period of time.
Right.
But once you cross your financial threshold, now you're in trouble.
그렇죠. 금전적으로도 어떤 한계점이 있을 수 있으니까요. Financial threshold라고 할 수도 있을 것 같네요. 여기서 뭐라고 했냐면 there's no magic threshold for how strong you have to be to delay decline. 근력 운동을 정확히 어느 정도까지 해야 되고 뭐 어떤 기준점이 있어서 여기를 넘어서야 된다 하는 그런 건 없어요. 그런 건 없지만 그렇지만 근력 운동하면서 몸이 튼튼해질수록 강해질수록 좋다라고 토폴 박사가 말합니다. Alright, let's move on to the next big tip on how to age well.
Schedule your sleep. Committing to a consistent sleep schedule is also important. One analysis found that irregular sleep schedules increased subjects' all-cause mortality risk. Deep sleep is especially critical for better aging, Topol said. Research suggests that people who get fewer hours of deep sleep at night are at higher risk for dementia, for instance. Most sleep aids, though, don't get you deep restorative sleep, Topol warned. Lifestyle changes, rather than drugs or supplements, are far more likely to increase your sleep duration and quality, he said.
수면 주기를 잘 지킬 것. 두 번째 팁입니다. Schedule your sleep. 규칙적인 수면 주기를 지키는 것이 굉장히 중요한데요. 한 연구 분석에 따르면 수면 주기가 불규칙하면 어떤 종류의 원인이든 상관없이 사망 위험이 높아지는 것으로 드러났습니다. 토폴 박사는 더 나은 노화를 위해서는 숙면이 특히 중요하다고 하는데요. 연구에 따르면은 매일 밤 깊이 잠드는 시간이 적은 사람은 치매 위험도 더 높다고 합니다. 그러나 토폴 박사는 대부분의 수면 보호제가 깊고 회복 효과가 있는 수면을 제공하지 못한다고 경고해요. 그는 오히려 이런 약물이나 보충제보다 생활 습관의 변화가 수면 시간과 수면의 질을 높일 가능성이 높다고 합니다. Alright, so it's all about scheduling your sleep and getting good quality sleep.
Yeah, exactly. It's and doing it in a natural way rather than taking pills or supplements and stuff like that to force you to sleep.
맞아요. 그래서 irregular sleep를 갖게 되면은 불규칙적으로 자면 this increases all-cause mortality risk. We looked at mortality risk earlier on, 사망 위험. But what's all-cause mortality risk?
So when we're saying all-cause mortality, all the different ways that your body can be negatively affected. So whether that is talking about heart disease, whether it's talking about cancer, whether it's talking about dementia or mental diseases, all these different negative things that can happen to your body, it's including everything. So every single different cause of mortality risk.
그렇죠. All cause mortality risk는 여기서 원인이 무엇이든 상관없이 사망 위험이 높아진다, 올라간다. 어떻게 하면은요? 불규칙적인 잠을 자면이라고 설명을 합니다. So all cause 라는 게 모든 원인에 의한 원인이 무엇이든 이라는 뜻이에요. About the word restorative.
Restorative is a version of the word restore, and if you restore something, then something was a certain shape or in good shape before, and then something has gone wrong, something has been damaged, or over a course of time it's been ruined. So you are going to restore it. You're going to make it good once again. And restorative sleep, meaning that maybe your body has become tired or ill or something's wrong with your body now, well, you need to sleep in order to fix those parts of your body. So getting sleep to kind of recharge the batteries within your body.
Earlier on, we had a story about Pharaoh Khufu, who commissioned the Giza pyramids. There was a boat that was made after he died, and that boat is now going to be restored in real time.
That's right.
And people can check it out at this museum in Egypt. 아까 우리가 배가 복원될 거다 할 때 restore 봤는데요. Your body can also restore or be restored.
Absolutely. Whether it be for energy that you need sleep for, whether it could be your body fixing illness, there can be a lot of different things that your body can go through in terms of restoration.
그래요. 몸의 회복이 되겠습니다. 이 경우에는요. 그래서 restorative라고 하면은 원기를 회복시키는 이라는 형용사가 되겠죠. 자, 그러면 우리 이제 두 가지 봤어요. Take up strength training and schedule your sleep. What's the third one?
Bolster your mental health. There are simple steps you can take to improve your mental health and delay disease, Topol said, such as spending time outdoors. One study found that subjects who spent at least 30 minutes a week in outdoor green spaces experienced lower rates of depression and high blood pressure. Studies show people with active social lives typically have a lower risk of mortality and disease. The elderly adults in the Scripps study also tend to have rich social lives, Topol wrote in Superagers.
자, 세 번째 팁은 바로 정신 건강을 튼튼하게 유지하는 겁니다. Bolster your mental health. 토폴 박사에 따르면 정신 건강을 개선하고 질병을 늦출 수 있는 간단한 방법들이 있는데 예를 들자면은 그냥 야외에서 시간을 보내는 것도 여기에 해당된다고 합니다. 한 연구에서는 매주 최소 30분 이상 자연이 있는 야외 공간에서 시간을 보낸 사람들은요. 우울증과 고혈압 발병률이 더 낮은 것으로 나타났습니다. 또 사교적인 사회생활을 활발하게 하는 사람들 역시 일반적으로 사망률과 질병 위험이 낮다는 연구 결과가 있습니다. 스크립스 리서치 센터의 웰덜리 연구에 참여한 성인들 역시 사회생활을 풍부하게 하는 경향이 있었다고 합니다. 여기서 말하는 사회생활이라는 거는 우리나라에서 말하는 이제 회사 생활이 아니고요. 사교, 사람들 만나고 대화하고 어찌 보면은 어른들이 노는 거 이런 거를 말하는 거죠. Alright, let's have a look at the title. To bolster your mental health.
Yeah, if you bolster something, then you're making it stronger, maybe supporting it more. It could be growing in numbers. But yeah, you're increasing something, and I think of it as usually being stronger.
강화한다는 뜻이에요. To bolster something. The mental health를 더 튼튼하게 유지해라. What about high blood pressure?
High blood pressure is something that we talk about a lot when it comes to your health and especially your heart. So think of the pressure of something is how, I guess, compact or strong something can be, how much you fit into something. So this is talking about your arteries and your blood flow. And if you have high blood pressure, then the amount of blood that's in those arteries, it's a lot stronger in a bad way. So like you don't want the pressure in your arteries to be that strong. You want it to be kind of loose, and so having high blood pressures can be very dangerous. It's considered kind of a pre-zone for cardiovascular disease or heart disease. So blood pressure is measured quite often. You can have blood pressure measuring machines in most gyms and health clubs.
Yep.
And if your blood pressure is high, then your doctor might put you on medication or have you just be very much more careful, especially if you're older.
그렇죠. 혈압이 바로 blood pressure고요. High blood pressure는 고혈압, low blood pressure는 저혈압이 되겠습니다. 자, 그 다음에 superage라는 말이 여기 나왔어요. Superager, what are we talking about?
So anytime we talk about something that is super, then there is an extreme of some sort, something that's not normal, but usually in a positive way. And, as you mentioned before, Superman is like a person that has special abilities. He's super. And the same sort of way, when we're describing a super ager, then it's someone who is older, that is that is old but doesn't seem old.
Right.
So they appear to seem younger, whether it be from their mental aspect, the way they think, or it could be also their body in terms of how strong or healthy they are.
슈퍼가 붙으면은 굉장히 좋아지는 거죠. 기존의 것보다. 그런 이미지가 좀 있어요. 그래서 슈퍼 에이저 그러면은 그냥 나이가 드는 분들보다 어쩐지 좀 더 건강하게, 조금 더 좋게 나이가 드는 분들이라는 그런 느낌인데요. 여기선 구체적으로 좋은 두뇌 기능을 가진 80대 이상의 노인을 토폴 박사는 슈퍼 에이저라고 부르고 있습니다. 발음, 영어로는 슈퍼 아니고요. 슈퍼라고 합니다. Alright, let's take a break. 퀴즈 드릴게요.
What is a super ager? Is it 1, someone who exercises daily? Is it 2, a person who eats only plant-based foods? Or is it 3, an older adult with exceptional memory and cognitive skills?
네, 조금 전에 큰 힌트 나갔죠? 지금 바로 정답 보내주세요. 반디 무료로 이용하실 수 있고요. 샵 1045, 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원입니다. Let's take a break. Here's Miles Smith. Nice to meet you. You're listening to Morning Special on EBS FM. 이번 뉴스 커버지 시간에는 미국의 노화 전문가인 심장 전문의 에릭 토폴 박사가요. 자신의 연구와 경험을 토대로 쓴 책 Super Agers, an Evidence-Based Approach to Longevity에서 발췌한 5가지 건강하게 나이 드는 법을 여러분과 함께 만나보고 있습니다. 뉴욕타임스 기사를 통해서 보고 있고요. 앞서 3가지는 Take up strength training, Schedule your sleep, and bolster your mental health 였어요. 4번째 가보겠습니다.
Use tests and trackers sparingly. Topol doesn't recommend the aging tests on the market today because they're expensive and it's unclear how accurate they are. But as these tests get cheaper and more sophisticated, they could help you understand your individual risks, he said. And while he's optimistic that some wearable devices like sleep trackers or glucose monitors can help you estimate your sleep patterns or blood sugar, there's no data suggesting that using trackers without making real lifestyle changes can meaningfully improve your health, he said.
자, 이 4번째 팁은요. 검사 장치, 추적 장치는 너무 많이 쓰지 말아라. 적절히 써라 라는 겁니다. 영어로는 use tests and trackers sparingly인데요. 자, 토폴 박사는 현재 시장에 나와 있는 노화 테스트 종류는 추천하지 않는다고 합니다. 아직은 비용이 많이 들고 또 얼마나 정확한지 알 수도 없기 때문이죠. 하지만 이런 테스트가 앞으로 더 저렴하고 정교해지면 개인별로 각자 어떤 위험이 더 큰지 이해하는데 도움이 될 수도 있다라고 말합니다. 토폴 박사는 이어서 수면 추적기나 혈당 측정기 같은 일부 웨어러블 기기가 개인 스스로 수면 패턴이나 혈당 상태를 추정하는데 도움이 될 수 있다라고 낙관적으로 보는 입장이지만 그래도 실제 생활 습관을 바꾸지 않고 추적기에만 의존하는 것은 그렇게 의미가 있지 않다라고 말하고 있습니다. So when you do something sparingly, how are you doing it?
If you do something sparingly, you're not doing it that much. You're just doing it little by little,
Yeah.
and certainly to an amount that you don't have to rely on it. You don't need it, but it's just something that you'll do a little bit here and there.
So he's not flat out saying don't use it.
Yeah.
He's just saying don't rely on it too much. If you have to, okay, but just a little bit.
Yeah. If you think of a similar word, spare, like a spare tire.
Yep.
Like you have a spare tire in your car usually, and it means you don't need it like to act for your car to run, but you have it just in case. Like it's kind of something that you could use, but it's not, meant to be used all the time.
그렇죠. 우리가 스페어 타이어 할 때 그 스페어가 같은 어원인데요. Doing something sparingly. 이 부사는 조금씩만 마치 절약해서 하는 것처럼 여분의 뭐뭐를 쓰듯이 조금만 해라 이런 뜻이 있어서요. 이 검사, 테스트, 그런 추적 장치 이런 것들을 뭐 쓰지 말라는 아니고 쓰게 되면 쓰는데 너무 의존하지 말아라. 특히 여기서 예시를 줬잖아요. 수면 추적기 이런 게 사실 굉장히 유용할 수 있어요. 그런데 그거보다 더 중요한 건 뭐냐면은 스스로 수면 패턴을 바꾸려고 해야지 내 수면 패턴은 계속 안 좋은 상태를 유지하면서 추적기만 쓰는 거는 너무 의미가 없는 상식적인 얘기긴 한데요. 그거를 이제 콕 집어서 정리를 해주셨네요. 톡볼 박사가. Okay, let's have a look at the word sophisticated.
Something that is sophisticated is maybe a little bit complicated or difficult to understand, difficult to use. Basically, it's the opposite of something that is simple. Right? Something that is simple is easy. Anybody can do it. Anyone can understand it or use it. Whereas something that is more sophisticated might be a little bit more complex or be a little bit more difficult, and certainly not something that everyone can easily understand or use.
Well, these trackers are getting more and more sophisticated.
Yeah, they're probably telling you more information.
Yeah.
They're probably going to be more accurate because they're going to measure things in more different ways. So rather than just one measurement to test its accuracy, it's going to be having 2 or 3 different functions to make it more accurate as well, which makes it more sophisticated.
I actually like the sleep trackers that you can link and sync to your phones. And so by using smartphones or smart devices, you can actually find out how many hours of REM sleep you had, how many hours or minutes you snored, and things like that. So, in some ways, this is very sophisticated, and it can be useful in letting you know what to change.
Yes.
And that's the point, really, isn't it?
And the key is what to change, meaning change.
Exactly.
If you need to change, then do the change.
Yes.
That's how to get healthier, as he mentions as well.
Right. 자, 정교해지다. To become sophisticated. 이렇게 기기가 좀 더 정교해지고요. 또 저렴해지고, 그 다음에는 테스트를 많이 기존에 해서 정확도가 높아지고 그러면은 좋죠. 그런 것들은 이제 우리가 잘 적절하게 사용하면 되겠다.
Sometimes we also think of people as being sophisticated as well. Like somebody that is highly educated, maybe like a college professor, like someone that uses complicated words or very educated words, you think of them as being more sophisticated.
Yeah, 좀 교양 있는 사람 얘기할 때 우리가 sophisticated person이라고 해요. 자, 마지막 궁금하시죠, 여러분? 이거는 소셜 미디어랑도 좀 관련이 있는 것 같은데 5번째 팁 드리겠습니다.
Be wary of influencers. Longevity enthusiasts may find themselves doing their own research, especially if their doctors aren't up to date on the latest technological advances. But popular influencers are often biased, Topol warned. There's no reason to experiment with drugs, therapies, or supplements that haven't undergone clinical trials, he said, especially when exercise, sleep, improved mental health, and diet are all much more likely to extend your life and health span, he said. If they're hawking a supplement, he said, I would kick them off the list of being credible.
자, 5번째 팁은 바로 인플루언서들을 경계하세요. Be wary of influencers입니다. 장수에 관심이 많은 사람들이라면은 아마 인터넷 등을 통해서 직접 어떻게 하면은 잘 나이가 될 수 있나 이런 걸 찾아다닐 수 있는데요. 특히 자신들이 진찰하는 자신들을 진찰해주는 그런 의사가 최신 기술 같은 것과 거리가 먼 타입이라면은 더욱더 인터넷에 의존하게 될 수 있습니다. 그러나 인기 있는 인플루언서들은요, 좀 편향된 정보를 전달할 때가 있죠. 이걸 바로 토폴 박사가 주의하라고 경고합니다. 그는 임상시험을 거치지 않은 약물 또는 치료법, 보충제 이런 거 굳이 시도할 이유가 없다라고 말합니다. 왜냐하면은 운동과 수면, 정신건강 개선, 식단이 신체 수명과 건강 수명을 연장할 수 있는 정말 확실한 좋은 방법들인데 그런 것들이 있는데 우리가 확실하지 않은 어떤 뭐 약물, 치료법 이런 것들을 굳이 이렇게 테스트해 볼 필요가 있나? 그건 과학자들이 테스트해서 나중에 알려주면 되죠. 그래서 토폴 박사는 이렇게 말합니다. 만약 어떤 인플루언서가 새로 나온 보충제 이런 거를 여러분 사세요. 이건 무조건이에요. 하는 그런 광고를 한다면 그냥 걸러내셔도 됩니다. 라고 말합니다. 시원시원하게. Okay, so influencers, they swear by certain products. They say, oh, you have to buy this. This, has changed my life completely. I'm so much healthier, blah, 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 blah. And Dr. Topol says, be wary of these people.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Good one, yes. Let's have a look at up-to-date.
Yeah, something that is up-to-date is modern or new or updated, meaning that it's the latest information, because sometimes we can have things that we believed from before that was maybe not updated. So there's been new information compared to old information, or when something was discovered or written about maybe 100 years ago or 50 years ago. But now we have new information. It's been up to date.
그렇죠. 자, things that are up to date. 그러면은 이제 최신의 것이다. If it is not up to date, 그러면은 최신의 것이 아니다. 근데 본인이 늘 가는 병원에 의사 선생님이 있잖아요. 근데 왠지 느낌에 선생님이 가장 최신 트렌드 이런 건 좀 모르는 것 같아. 그러면은 소셜 미디어를 찾게 된다는 얘기를 하고 있어요. 그럴 수는 있다 이거예요. 그럴 수는 있지만 그렇다고 그걸 또 무조건적으로 믿고 더군다나 이거 사세요 할 때 이거 사지 마라. 이런 얘기 같아요. 조금 제가 너무나 단순하게 서머라이즈를 했나요? 토플 박사가 influencers are often biased라고 했습니다.
Yeah, if you're biased, then there's a reason that you might think something where somebody else would not. So you're thinking one way because of maybe history that you have or a relationship that you have to something or someone that is involved in your decision. So your judgment or your opinion is being swayed because of something personal, maybe to you as the person that's making that judgment.
For the influencers who are trying to sell these supplements, it's monetary.
Usually.
Usually contractual.
Yes.
They have to sell certain products. And so because of that, they are biased.
Yeah. Or they're biased because they're just trying to get attention by getting clickbait, right? So
yes.
even though it's not about accuracy, it's more about, well, I need to shock people and in order to get clickbait to get views or to get people to listen longer. So even if it's not true, it's not about their goal might not be accuracy. It's more about getting as many people to watch as possible.
네, 편향됐다는 게 바로 바이어스트인데요. 인플루언서들 같은 경우에는 지금 말한 것처럼 뭐 좋아요 수 아니면은 그 조회수 이런 것들을 높이기 위해서 아무래도 좀 편향된 그런 의견이나 입장으로 제품을 홍보할 수 있죠. 정말 순수하게 이 제품만 보는 건 아닐 수 있다 이 얘기고요. Finally, if they are hawking a product, then kick them off the list of being credible 이라고 했어요. 이 표현들 잠시 후에 볼 텐데 hawking이 뭐예요?
Yeah, hawking or a hawker is someone that sells something or is trying to sell something in sort of a loud fashion.
Okay.
You think of this if you go to the markets, right? And people are like, "Hey, come here, get this." It's you think of especially the traditional markets in Korea as you're walking by, and the old ladies, the ajumas, will try to sell you something. They might even grab your arms. Oh, I got a good deal for you, and they're very what's the word, like a hard sell.
Sure.
So they're being aggressive and loud and sort of in your face about buying something.
In Southeast Asia, hawker centers are very popular. I remember going to one in Singapore, and you can get some of the best street food at these hawker centers. As you said, they are loud.
Yeah.
You know, they're not restaurants.
Yeah.
They're sort of like tent areas. And,
makeshift.
yeah, and the food is cheap, but they're so good.
Yeah.
자, 호킹이라는 거 팔러 다닌다, 행상을 다닌다라는 뜻이 있으니까요. 물건을 판다는 거예요. If the influence try to sell products, if that's the sole goal, then maybe 뭐라고 했죠? Kick them off the list of being credible. 믿을 수 있는 사람 목록에서 빼버려라 라고 톡볼 박사가 말했습니다. Alright, well that's it for this article. 다 건강하게 에이징 할 수 있는 한 해가 됐으면 좋겠습니다. 자, 이제 주요 표현 선생님의 예문과 함께 짚어볼게요. 한계점 threshold.
Threshold is like that zone where you cross the line and things start to change.
기준점이 될 수도 있죠.
And my example, the threshold for qualifying for the PGA is very small.
네, PGA qualifying 선수가 되기 위한 그런 문턱은 굉장히 높습니다라고 해석을 해야 될 것 같아요. PGA 선수가 되는 거 쉽지 않죠? 자, 다음으로 bolster, 강화하다.
Bolster, to strengthen or to increase in number or to support something. And my example, they bolstered their military presence in the area.
네, 그들은 군 military presence니까요. 어떤 이제 군사력을 그 지역에서 더욱더 키웠습니다. 자, 다음 표현 정교하다 아니면 뭐 교양 있다. Sophisticated.
Sophisticated is basically the opposite of simple, something that's a little bit more complex or perhaps difficult to understand.
자, 그러면 예문 보겠습니다.
The computer program was too sophisticated for an average person to figure out.
그 컴퓨터 프로그램은 너무나 복잡해서 너무 정교해서 보통 사람은 이해할 수가 없었습니다. 자, 다음 표현 biased.
Bias means that there's a reason on a personal level, perhaps, on why you might think something or say something that maybe helps out a personal interest.
원래는 편향됐다라고 말씀을 드렸죠. 사전적인 의미인데 이게 이제 실생활 속에서는 내가 이것에 대해서 중립을 지킬 수가 없어. 약간의 내가 선입견이 있어라고 할 때 I'm biased. 네, 예문 보겠습니다.
He was clearly being biased when he claimed his son's drawing was the best.
And I think when we talk about our children, we always have to say, I'm biased, but,
Yeah.
and then say something wonderful about them. 자, 그래서 이 부모가요, 자신의 아들의 그림에 대한 설명을 할 때 아무래도 약간의 바이어스가 있었을 겁니다. 선입견이 있었을 텐데요. 이렇게 말했어요. 이 그림이 세상 최고야. 이런 식으로. 왜냐면은 우리 자식들은 다 최고로 보이니까요. We are all biased as parents. 자, 마지막 편 to hawk or hawking, hawkers.
Yeah, hawking is when you're selling something, usually not in your own store or a brick and mortar, but it's like you're going out there, maybe door to door or in public places.
그래요. 물건을 팔러 다니는 거죠. 예문 보겠습니다.
We don't see as many subway hawkers as we used to.
예전만큼 지하철역에서 물건을 파는 분들이 요즘은 잘 보이지 않습니다. 자, 이렇게 주요 표현 다 살펴봤어요. 이제 퀴즈 정답 발표할까요? 선생님, 슈퍼 에이저가 뭐예요?
It is number 3, an older adult with exceptional memory and cognitive skills.
나이에 비해 기억력과 인지 능력이 아주 좋은 노인 슈퍼 에이저였습니다. 3번이었어요. 당첨되신 두 분은 저희가 방송 후에 모닝 스페셜 홈페이지 당첨자 게시판에 올려드리겠습니다. 확인해 주시고 주소와 연락처 남겨주세요. Start your day with morning special. Well, it's time now for our daily dose of must-know idioms. What's today's idiom?
Today's idiom is ready, steady, go.
Oh, very fitting for the start of the year.
Yeah.
자, 오늘의 idiom은 ready, steady, go입니다. 차렷, 시작! 이런 느낌의 표현인데요. 다이얼로그를 통해서 소개해드릴게요. 제이슨 쌤이 한 헬스장의 엄격한 트레이너입니다. 저는 처음으로 온 회원이고요. Let's have a listen. Idiom package. Ready, steady, go! Good morning.
Morning. You're on time. Good. Did you do everything I told you to do?
Oh, yes, I did.
Don't smile yet. Chicken breasts, did you stock up?
Yes, fully loaded.
Rice cooker?
Put away, out of sight.
Vitamins and supplements.
Bought, lined up, labeled.
Personal tumbler?
Right here.
All right. We start with a basic warm-up on the mat. Abs engaged.
Got it.
We're marching in place. Counting. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is just the warm-up, right?
Yes. And stop talking. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, but how long before I start seeing changes?
Depends. If you keep talking, then forever.
Oh, I see.
No laughing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Will my muscles hurt tomorrow?
Yes. 6, 7, 8.
You mean like I won't be able to walk down the stairs? Kind of hurt.
Like you need to stop talking kind of hurts.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, now plank position. And down. Hold.
Can I still have some candy? Just 1 or 2 a day.
If you want to gain more weight, then yes.
You're so sarcastic.
Counting. 3 more seconds.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Well done. Now, listen carefully. You need to always keep this in mind. Today is not just the first day of the new year, it's also the first step to start a new chapter. No shortcuts and no excuses. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Yes.
Louder, with conviction.
Yes, I'm ready.
Good. Then let's kick off your healthier, stronger, and happier project with 10 laps around the gym. Ready, steady, go!
Go, go, go. Sounds like I'm loving my time there. All right, let's have a look at the expression ready, steady, go.
Ready, steady, go is what we use to start a race, typically. So there's a few different versions of this. You probably hear like ready, set, go. I think is very common. Ready, steady, go. You might hear on your marks, set, and then go. It's just different ways. Usually when you're getting 2 or more people together, I guess you could do it with one person too, if you're just timing yourself. But you're going to get somebody ready so that everyone can start at the same time on a race of some sort.
맞아요. 달리기나 아니면은 어떤 시합이든 이제 말로 그 시작을 알릴 때 영어에서는 이렇게 세 박자로 얘기를 많이 하거든요. 단어는 좀 바뀔 수 있어요. 그래서 ready, set, go 아니면 ready, steady, go. 달리기 같은 경우에는 on your marks, get set, go 뭐 이런 식으로 말을 하는 거죠. So this symbolizes starting anything really.
Yeah, it could be, like you mentioned, starting the new year as well as we are on January 1st. So we're getting ready and steady, and we're now going into 2026.
맞아요. 예전에 1960년대 영국에서 어떤 이제 음악 프로그램이 처음으로 방송을 하게 됐는데 그때 이 방송의 시작을 알릴 때 이런 표현을 썼었대요. 그러면서 유행이 됐다고 하더라고요. Because you could say, when something really important is about to start, you can use this. It doesn't have to be a race.
Yeah, that's true. It could be, that's right, like broadcast programs. If you'll have like a promotional video to start the beginning of that, then might have like a countdown screen where it's like 3, 2, 1, ready, steady, go, something like that. So yeah, it works in that sense as well. And the number format is also something that we'll use. Sometimes we're like 3, 2, 1, go, right? Or it could be 1, 2, 3, go as well. So the countdown format of the idea works as well is another way that you'll probably hear it.
Exactly. Other expressions to say, get ready and then go might be lights, camera, action. This is for movies.
Yeah, that's right. If you've ever been in a movie set, then that's a very common thing that you'll hear, and certainly something that's been repeated a lot in television and media. So a normal person in North America or the Western world would certainly understand lights, camera, action.
Indeed. 자, 이번 idiom은 ready, steady, go 였습니다. Well, as we get this new year started, I hope we're off to a good start.
Yeah.
And, well, we're ready to get things started as well.
Yeah, happy 2026.
네. 오늘 이렇게 1월 1일 방송 함께 해주신 제이슨 선생님 감사합니다. Happy New Year once again.
Happy New Year to you too.
We'll see you next week. 네, 지금까지 제이슨 선생님이었습니다.
모닝 스페셜에서 드리는 선물입니다. 프리미엄 오디오 브랜드 브리츠에서 스피커, 국내산 서리태로 만든 고소한 단백질 쉐이크 클리닛, 마시빈디에서 시각화된 감각적인 향기 마시빈디 컬러 틴트 디퓨저, 아로마 전문 말글담에서 리프레시 아로마 세트, 대체식품 전문기업 알티스트에서 아침 한 끼 대용 한 끼 대신 치즈 감자 스프를 드립니다.
Well, that brings us to the end of the show on this very first day of 2026. You know, I think I'm getting used to saying it a little bit more than I was at the start of the show. But 2026 it is. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. Our final song for the day is Jon Batiste, What a Wonderful World. And with those wishes, we wish you a wonderful day. See you in 22 hours.